Broadcasts of HIKI NŌ are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo. And by Bank of Hawaii Foundation, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through HIKI NŌ.
Aloha, I'm Kukui Raymond, a HIKI NŌ student from Faumuina High School in West Oahu.
And I'm Faumuina, a HIKI NŌ student from Castle High School in Windward, Oahu.
Welcome to the first in a series of 7 special episodes showcasing the nominees for the 2017 HIKI NŌ Awards.
Each episode will present the nominated stories in a particular category or series of categories. These stories represent the best of the best in nonfiction digital storytelling by Hawaii's middle and high school students.
The categories in the 2017 HIKI NŌ Awards are Best Personal Profile, Middle School Division.
Best Personal Profile, High School Division.
Best Writing, Middle School Division.
Best Writing, High School Division.
Best Franchise Piece.
Best Achievement in Cinematography and Editing.
Best Factoid.
Best Overall Story, Middle School Division.
And Best Overall Story, High School Division.
All stories that aired in HIKI NŌ during the 2015-16 school year and during the fall of this current school year were eligible to be nominated.
The stories that received nominations were selected by PBS Hawaii's HIKI NŌ editorial board, based on a set of very strict and specific criteria.
You can check out all of the nominations for the 2017 HIKI NŌ Awards at pbshawaii.org/HIKI NŌ.
And as we speak, a panel of judges, all of them veterans from Hawaii's journalism, broadcasting, and film and TV production industries, are scoring each nominated story based upon the criteria used in the nominating process. The judges' scores will be added up, and the nominee with the highest score in the given category will be declared the winner of that category.
The winner in each category will receive $1,000 worth of video production equipment for their school's media program. The HIKI NŌ Awards are school, not individual awards.
And you'll find out who all the winners are when you tune into our special HIKI NŌ Awards show Thursday, March 23rd, 7:30, right here on PBS Hawai.
Now, let's move on to the first category. Best Personal Profile, Middle School Division.
A personal profile is a HIKI NŌ story that focuses on one individual and explores one aspect of that person's life.
The nominees in this category will be scored by the judges based on the following criteria.
Did the nominee create a compelling portrait of the featured person?
Were they able to use interviews to tell a strong, well-structured story with a distinct beginning, middle, and end?
Do you feel you know the featured person?
Were the visual elements compelling, and did they help to tell the story?
We'll present the nominated stories in alphabetical order based on the school name.
Our first nominated story comes from Aliamanu Middle School in the Salt Lake District of Oahu.
This story follows a young woman who decided to take what some would call a non-traditional approach to her education for a selected portion of her school year.
As a result, she was able to compare and contrast this experience with her time in a traditional school setting.
Nominated for the Best Personal Profile Middle School Division, here is homeschool student from Aliamanu Middle School.
Prior to starting her 8th grade year at Aliamanu Middle School, Braden Reed had not been in a traditional classroom in 3 years.
I was in public school up until about 4th grade, and then I was about to start 5th grade, and we found out we were moving, and Mom's like, well, do you guys want to homeschool this year since we're moving? And I'm like, sounds fun, let's do that. And so we moved, and it kind of just stuck.
As a military family, Braden and her 4 siblings are used to moving every few years. Their mother saw homeschooling as a way to provide a stable, educational environment. It also allowed them to spend quality time together as a family.
So we were able to tailor our days around our family needs. This last year, my oldest child, Braden, we did a learning academy online, and I think she really benefited from the online academy.
So for the first 2 years of my homeschool career, it was Mom teaching me. I had like the textbooks, and she would read them with me, I'd do the work. But last year, the 3rd year, I had online school, which I would log into my computer, I'd go to a website, log in, and then I'd watch these pre-recorded videos of my teachers in all my different classes. Each was anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour long, depending on if it was a test day, which I had all my worksheets and my books separate so I could follow along with the class.
Because this is her last year in Hawaii before starting high school, she decided to return to the traditional school environment.
Mom wanted me to have friends, but I thought the experience would be good for me, and I needed to like know people my age, socialize, yeah, stuff like that, and prepare me for high school, learn more about how it works. I feel like I transitioned pretty easily into public school. Still a few like questions I have for about my different lessons and classes, but I kind of enjoy being here at school. It's very different. I'm surrounded by people all day, and not people like have my last name.
Braden's experience with both methods of schooling taught her that education isn't just about books. Over the years, she has learned to be self-reliant, independent, and open, both to new ideas and new people.
I think it's important to get to know people since you live with people. You can gain knowledge about like how the world works. Everyone has their own background, different opinions. You get to learn to work with people, which I think is a super duper important skill to know how to have.
This is Kira Powers from Aliyah Manu Middle School for HIKI NŌ.
Great job by the HIKI NŌ students at Aliyah Manu Middle School. Now, Noah, what did you think of homeschooled students?
Well, Kukui, my favorite part of the story was when she said that she was able to be open towards other people and new ideas, and I believe it is because of that that it makes it a very viable candidate to win this entire category.
Now, our next nominated profile is by students at Chiefis Kamakahele Middle School in Lihue, Kauai.
It's a story of an artist who, due to circumstances beyond his control, was forced to radically alter the way he creates his art.
Nominated for Best Personal Profile Middle School Division is Moses Hamilton from Chiefis Kamakahele Middle School.
Just starting like the first little lines, there's gonna be a wave right here with the mountains.
Here at Chingon Village Shopping Center in Hanalei, Kauai, Moses Hamilton is a well-known person. Going by the nickname Mo, you can usually find him chatting with shoppers or painting art for everyone to enjoy.
Well, I paint here in Honolulu like 3-4 days a week. And then I also paint a lot at my home. I get a very good reaction to my art. I think it's a very fun and active style. It's very alive, full of color, and a lot of island feel.
He's always been good at art, and yeah, but it didn't become the way he made his life until after he was injured.
Life took a dramatic turn for Moses and his family when he got into a car accident on a late October night.
I was driving home on a wet night after work and lost control of my vehicle. And then I woke up 2 or 3 days later and I'd been paralyzed. And I was told by the doctors I probably wouldn't move much of my body below my chest anymore. Life was pretty dark. And I did at times wonder if I still wanted to be alive.
It was a real life-changing thing for my whole family and for me. It taught me that all things are possible if we just really try. Maybe you won't walk. A lot of ways in Mo's art, he walks. He doesn't have a paralyzed mind. He isn't paralyzed.
The sunset, I gotta look at some photos.
This car accident left him in a rehabilitation hospital for 3 months. During his stay there, he was introduced to mouth painting.
Rehab of the Pacific, which is in Honolulu, and there was an art program, Louis Vuitton art program. There was all sorts of people with disabilities painting. The teacher talked me into trying a painting. A year and a half after being home from the rehab hospital, I was starting to feel healthier and ready to move on with my new life, and I started with some simple little paintings. Thank you, thank you.
Moses had to overcome many obstacles to get where he is today.
Being disabled is a very rough road, and it takes a lot of philosophy and a lot of power of will to overcome your day-to-day experience of being stuck in a wheelchair, not being able to move your body, and being dependent on others. Live life with perseverance. You gotta have patience for the things you want, and you gotta practice at the goals and the things you want to achieve. And you also gotta pursue it all with passion.
Since his accident, Moses had to be dependent on others for help. This taught him many life lessons, including gratitude and humbleness.
My car wreck was a very humbling experience. I was kind of an egotistical and brash. I felt like I was unstoppable at times, being a very strong young man. The reality is I felt frail and fragile, not only our bodies are, but how quick and fleeting life is. It can change in a second. Live with an attitude of gratitude, be gracious, and love the things you have in life. Don't get caught up on what you don't have. Within our society, everyone wants so many new things. They forget to just focus on the day-to-day happiness of being here. You never know what's going to happen tomorrow. You could be in a car wreck and life could be gone. So smile in the moment, because tomorrow is not insured.
Conquering life's struggles, Moses' art has revealed the miracle of life to him. As his motto states, art soothes the soul. This is Alasia Navor from Chiefest Kamakahela Middle School for HIKI NŌ.
Awesome story from Chiefest Kamakahele Middle School. Kukui, how did this story affect you?
I think it affected me by the way I think, that no matter what happens to you in life or anything that makes you down, there's always little things that help you feel better.
Yeah, you know, my favorite part was the interviews with him. It really gave us a window into how he thought, like you said. Now, our next profile comes from a small private school in the Nu'uanu district of Oahu, HONGWANJI Mission School.
It's the story of a very accomplished woman who proves that there's nothing she can't do, despite the fact that she lives without sight.
Nominated for Best Personal Profile, Middle School Division, Laura Rubin from HONGWANJI Mission School.
Fear is all about having control. And when you're not in control of it, that's when you're afraid.
Some people think that the blind live a life of fear, but for Laurie Rubin, this is not the case. Laurie Rubin was born with Leber's congenital amaurosis, a genetic disorder that affects the retina and causes loss of vision.
People might think, oh, I'd be so terrified to take a step without being able to see, but I've never had time to think about it. It's just been my life. So I just kind of had this revelation that the fears that we do have stem from any time that we've had time to think about the unknown.
Her inability to see hasn't stopped her from living an active life. Her schedule includes speaking at conferences, doing performances and singing, and being a vocal teacher.
The only activity that I couldn't do, that my family said that I couldn't do, was ping pong. And I remember I was so mad at them. I was like, you can't tell me I can't do that. Because they had given me this self-esteem that I could do anything. So when they told me I couldn't do something, I wasn't having it, you know.
As a result of this self-esteem, she was able to accomplish many things, one of them being writing a memoir.
So my book is called Do You Dream in Color? Insights from a Girl Without Sight. And it's really about it takes readers on a journey through my life, because I realize one of the things that people want to know is they want to know how I do everyday stuff.
Her book highlights her life experiences and what she went through to get to where she is now. Each chapter of her book talks about the different parts of her life and uses a different color for them. Despite her inability to see, she has interests that might surprise some people.
I love making jewelry. I really enjoy playing around with makeup. I love clothes because you can feel textures. And I've always told people, I don't necessarily think that blindness is associated with vision per se. Like, I think if you have a visual, creative mind, it will manifest itself no matter whether you're blind or sighted.
Laurie Rubin has taken these words to heart. As a mezzo-soprano opera singer, her list of accomplishments include working with singer-songwriter Kenny Loggins and performing at the White House. She also co-created Peace on Your Wings, a musical based on the life of Sadako Sasaki, a girl who died from leukemia as a result of the Hiroshima atomic bomb.
It's really amazing to see something that when you're in your pajamas at 3 in the morning just writing something down on a computer, how that can come to life on stage, and then more emotionally, and seeing everybody get involved, the students, the parents, the audience, other people who have investment in the story. And what I realized in that moment was that the reason I loved this project so much more than anything else that we had done was because it was something that became a team effort.
Because Laurie Rubin conquered her own fear, she inspires others to be more fearless. This is Teo Fukamizu from HONGWANJI Mission School for HIKI NŌ.
Wow, that was such an amazing story. Noah, based on the personal criteria, how would you assess this?
Well, I feel HONGWANJI Mission School really captured how adamant she was about being independent in her entire life, even without the ability to see.
Yes, I agree with you. That really was an amazing story. Okay, our next nominee brings us back to Kauai with personal profile from Kapa'a Middle School.
This is the story of a man who chose an unexpected strategy in his fight against cancer. It proves the old adage that love conquers all.
Nominated for Best Personal Profile Middle School Division, here is Joe Young from Kapa'a Middle School.
Joseph Young is a loving grandfather with a passion for bowling. He is also a retired police officer whose biggest battle came after he left the force.
I was diagnosed 3 years ago with prostate cancer, and I was given options to have radiation treatment, do surgery, or don't do anything. I chose not to do anything.
His diagnosis and decision to forego chemotherapy came as a great shock to his family.
Anybody who hears about someone they really love having cancer, I can say would probably feel sad. It was really sad to see how he felt when they gave him the news that he had cancer as well.
It was like, you know, how we're going to say it to the kids, to the children, that their dad and grandpa has cancer.
His doctors prescribed medications to prevent the cancer from spreading and reduce inflammation, but Mr. Young had his own treatment plan, spending more time with his family and doing what he loved.
He would go on his bowling trips with the family and, you know, basically just spending time together, eating dinners together, spending more quality time together.
He has sore legs a lot, so when I have time, I help massage his feet, and then my mom and I got him massaging machines to help massage his legs and his back area, and we try to help him as much as we can at home.
3 years later, he was declared cancer-free. While he still takes medicine to keep the cancer from recurring, this unexpected turn of events let everyone breathe a sigh of relief.
The recovery for me it has to do with my willpower to tell myself that this disease will not beat me. I refuse to say that, you know, this disease is going to take my life. I won't accept it, so I fought back.
With 70 years of experience, Mr. Young is determined not to let his medical problems slow him down. He continues to lead an active lifestyle with a positive outlook.
He has a very strong-minded, very strong inner spirit. He encourages others to be strong and for us to just, you know, count our blessings every day and, you know, just be thankful that he's still here.
Mr. Young always puts family first. This is an important life lesson he feels everyone should know.
They're always there and they're giving me support, and that's a big plus. Enjoy your life, make every moment count, whether it's, you know, having fun out there on the beach, you know, just bowling or doing things you want to do. And look for tomorrow. That's it, and it's going to, you'll be a survivor. You just keep going.
Because of his loving family and love for life, Mr. Young is forever grateful to be a survivor. This is Raghav Kumar from Kapa'a Middle School for HIKI NŌ.
What an excellent story. Kukui, what were your thoughts on Joe Young?
My thoughts on Joe Young was that he's a very strong and thoughtful person. When he found out that he had cancer, he didn't take it in a negative way. He decided to spend more time with his family because that's what he thought was important.
And on top of that, the video presentation, the cinematography, everything, it was so excellent and so professional. Now, our final nominee in this category comes from Seabury Hall Middle School on the Valley Isle.
It's the story of a man who has strong family ties to the Kihei district of Maui and a lineage that informs his deep, passionate feelings for the Aina.
Nominated for Best Personal Profile, Middle School Division, John Plunkett from Seabury Hall Middle School.
John Kukihiko, Kekane. Kamaka Kohualua, Kawahine. Nohupu La'au. Mariah Ka'aipuni, Kukihiko, Kawahine.
John Kukihiko Plunkett is the Seabury Hall Gymnasium caretaker and baseball coach. Mr. Plunkett spent much of his childhood in Kihei and Makena. He showed us the places and memories of his childhood beginnings in Keone'o'io, South Maui.
This was our area. This is, to me, Makena. This is all my family's place, all down here. This was all. Kukihikos, we walked, my ancestors walked this place.
He is a descendant of the Hawaiian Kukihiko Ohana. His life story reflects the changes on Maui in the last 4 decades.
My kapunas was fishermen, all in this area, from the Makena landing all the way out here. This is a great thing that I love, is the history. Where I walk, they walked. Even as a modern kid growing up, where we have Christian values. But still yet, my kapunas believe still yet in the old, ancient ways. My alma kua is the shark. There were times we go out, set the nets, and you would see the shark come. And the shark would help surround.
After graduating from Lahaina Luna High School, Mr. Plunkett served our country in Vietnam and spent 8 years abroad. When he returned, the McKenna of his childhood was on the brink of rapid change.
When I grew up in the late 50s and the early 60s, when we came from Kihei down to McKenna, it took a long time. The road was not good. The water that came in this area was a small little 1-inch pipe. So the development was zero.
In 1979, a pipe was laid to bring water from the Io Aquifer to Honua-Ula. As the resorts were built, the landscape of the area changed. In the 1980s, Mr. Plunkett worked for Cebu, the developers of the first McKenna resort.
They were starting to build a golf course. Now the fish population kind of declined because you break that ecosystem, you break that chain, something's going to come apart. I seldom anymore come down into this area. You know, when we was growing up, the view of the ocean was seen. And for me, when I see the walls, it kind of hurts. The main purpose of your lives, young people, is not who you are, but where you from, who is your family, and take care of the ground you walk on. You guys are what we call keiki o ka'aina. You are the children of the land, no matter what nationality you are. This is still your land.
This is Josh Foley from Seabury Hall Middle School for HIKI NŌ.
Wow, what a really powerful story. Noah, what are your thoughts on Seabury Hall's profile of John Plunkett?
Well, I really liked how they captured how ingrained into his mind the culture was and how deeply that was tied to the land that he was on.
I agree. I also like how he said we live on this land, so we should take care of it. I also think that judging by the quality of the storytelling we've seen all of the nominees in this category, that the judges are going to have a tough time picking a winner.
Yes, the competition in this category is extremely tough. Now, let's recap the nominees for Best Personal Profile Middle School Division. From Aliumanu Middle School, homeschooled student.
From Chiefis Kamakahele Middle School, Moses Hamilton.
From HONGWANJI Mission School, Lori Rubin.
From Kampa'a Middle School, Joe Young.
And from Seabury Hall Middle School, John Plunkett.
These amazing profiles are living proof that compelling visual storytelling is alive and well in Hawaii's HIKI NŌ middle schools.
But we've only scratched the surface. There are 8 more categories in the 2017 HIKI NŌ Awards.
Tune in next week when fellow HIKI NŌ students Laura Sato and Zakai Sarudi present the nominees for Best Personal Profile High School Division. For the complete list of nominees in the 2017 HIKI NŌ Awards and award updates, go to pbshawaii.org/HIKI NŌ.
And don't forget to tune in to the awards show on March 23rd at 7:30 right here on PBS Hawaii to root for your favorite nominees in each category.
Noah and I will be back here in 2 weeks to present the nominees for Best Writing Middle School Division.
Until then, ahui ho kako.
Broadcasts of HIKI NŌ are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo. And by Bank of Hawaii Foundation, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through HIKI NŌ.